The Edna McConnell Clark Foundation was founded in the 1960s with the estate of the founder of Avon Products. And I'd say for the first nearly 40 years of its existence was focused on youth and social justice and juvenile justice issues for disadvantaged kids. But like many large foundations, making quite a few not so large grants. And Mike Balin, who was running the foundation in the late 90s and earlier in the first decade of this century, turned it on its head and said, let's become true venture philanthropists and truly invest in our grantees, fewer of them with more money for longer periods of time, and surround the grant with technical assistance and non-financial supports of the kinds that our grantees need to grow. I think we're very cognizant, I want to repeat this, of the community-based nature of a lot of social change, most social change in fact. And not every nonprofit should grow. You could break a nonprofit very easily with this approach. So we have to be very selective and get that right. And be flexible, I think, in how we manage each relationship to be cognizant of the bumps in the road. What we need is more experimentation around collaborative funding structures. Most of what goes on in collaborative funding is ad hoc, based on personal relationships, kind of by chance. I'm encouraged by the reactions that the funding community have had to both the Federal Social Innovation Fund, the I-3 fund out of the Department of Education, where a significant federal high-profile competition for funds has caused donors to come together in funder groups who I think otherwise would never have done so. So the catalytic effect of the government competition has been substantial. Having said that, we can't rely on the federal government to induce this kind of behavior. So I'm hoping it will stick, that it'll be a good enough experience for enough of us that we'll try it again. So that's, I think, one key lesson. Another for me, and this is less about Edna McConnell Clark than I think it is about the social sector in general, is the power of individual leadership. Every organization needs leadership at the local and the national levels, and there are so many of us who can play that role. I'm quite taken personally with the whole Encore career idea promoted and popularized by Civic Ventures. And I'd say, I guess finally, in terms of lessons learned, this is hard work. I think a lot of people, especially in the business world, think of the social sector and the nonprofits that they may engage with as kind of a sidelight, not all that serious, not all that effective. Creating social change is harder, frankly, than creating commercial change, at least in my experience. And so I applaud any effort to shine light on the work of the social entrepreneurs and to back those. When I began to meet Wendy Kopp and J.B. Schramm and John Schnurr and folks like that who were people who could have done anything in the world, and they chose to forego personal wealth creation from the get-go and go after some big social problem with a vengeance and in a very business-like way. You know, my reaction was, I have to back these people. Sorry, just have to do it. I think that one of the things networks do is they take on characteristics of their own beyond their founders, if you will. If you can bring enough interesting people into your work and put them together, things will happen you never dreamed of and that you don't have to actually drive yourself. That's the power of networks. I began to sense that here at SVP, and really look forward to tapping into it.